In the bid of positioning Ugandan farmers to a domestic, regional and global organic market, vastity of knowledge should be deployed. For over 30 years, rural community in development has been practicing a lot of organic farming. It has come up with various innovations that are supporting agriculture, and they have testified a lot of benefits. It has been best for commercial use and training purposes. Today, we're going to tour with you through the farm for you to pick a leaf and learn. Please move with us.
You are most welcome to Rural Community in Development, Rucid, which is based in Mityana Municipality, Mityana District. My name is Sebaduka Elisha, and I'm an instructor at Rucid, Organic Vocational Training Institute, but also a farmer. You're most welcome, and I take a pleasure to take you around so that you can see what we do here. And we are basically organic agriculture. But then when we talk of organic agriculture, it entails a lot of things, including environmental protection and conservation, so that we can have the environment protected, conserved, and it's the most important production resource. So if we conserve the environment, then we can ensure that we shall have sustainable crop production. Now this is our main block, our main building, and we have set it in such a way that we have a compound, but then we don't want to have the pavement. We have put lots of trees, different trees, timber trees, herbal trees, fruit trees, and ornamental trees, so that at least it can help us in mitigating climate change. So I'm going to take you around. I'll take my time, and then we can see here that the passion fruit is not only grown in a field, but then we can also produce our passion fruit on the compound, such that when you come to visit us, you find the fruits there, and then you can pick them, and then you can enjoy, and then you have the nutrition. Now here we have the container garden, which is placed here. For example, the turmeric, and then we have the aloe vera, then we have amaranthus, and we have eggplant, African eggplant, and then we have the chia seeds, and then we have so many of them. But then all of them are contributing to the nutrition of the visitors and then the Rucid community who are living here. This side we have the hostel for visitors, but also for students when there is a need for them. And then we want also to look at this innovation which is here, and this innovation is a tent dryer which has been fabricated here, but then it helps us to dry our products. It's covered with the UV plastic sheets, and then we bring our coffee, we dry it here, our cassava, we dry it here, and any other product that we may want to dry. Then also we are imitating the greenhouse, and also it is a strategy. It is a strategy which is helping us to minimize pollution. And this is a plastic bottle house which is here, and we plant our crops inside here. Although now there may not be crops, but then when you enter it, you find that it has some properties of the greenhouse. Therefore, we can produce our vegetables for an extended period of time, and then it will be serving us. But then because we are taking away these bottles from the atmosphere, it means that we are contributing to waste disposal management. Instead of leaving them in the surroundings, we bring them here, and then they serve us another purpose. Then we want also to come here and look at nature. We have nature here. For example, we are good at tree planting, and that is our nursery our nursery site where we have a number of trees. Maybe you can look at some of them. This is cactus. If I talk about cactus, this is an endangered species because it used to be found in the rangeland. But then because of opening up farms, those people who open up farms don't value it, they just cut it and they eliminate it. So soon we shall not have it. Then we have the insari, we have the terminalia, we have guavas, we have jackfruit, we have mangoes, we have anona, then we have coffee, but also we have the calabash tree seedlings, which are here. It's both ornamental, but also it yields good juice, and that good juice is nutritious and herbarium. But then also it can be processed into wine, high value wine, which can be processed and then it fetches in money. And then when we go down, you find that we are mimicking nature, because if man has not intervened in nature, we have the woodlots, which we used to call forests. So here we are mimicking, we are putting up a forest again so that it can serve us in providing the forestry services, but also it can serve the forest goods. For example, we have the prunus, which is highly medicinal, and it's one of the desired plants. Now we do harvest the bark, and then when we harvest the bark, they will leave the bark to regenerate, so that it can regenerate and it can be sustainable. Then we have this other one. So we have this one also. It is medicinal, and it is indigenous in the highlands. For example, you'll find it in Wundiwujo, you find it in Kapchora, then you can also find it in Paida. But then because we found that it's valuable, this is why we also introduced it here, and it's serving us. We harvest the bark for herbal purposes, and very, very good for treating, especially ulcers. And I call upon the researchers to do more research about it, and then we can maybe multiply it. We can encourage people to grow it, and then it will be part of our ecosystem. Then we have other trees. For example, sorry, take you back. We have the Wabugia uganensis, which some of you have heard about, and this is a tree which this is one of the ingredients in the Covedex. But then it is a hot tree, and it's highly medicinal, and so we encourage people to plant it. Although seedlings are still scarce, but then you can have it and then you put it on your farm because of its supple properties. Then when you look at this forest, not only this, but then also when you go down, you find that we have decomposing leaves. Now these decomposing leaves are indicating to us that microorganisms are working on the leaves. Therefore there is a collection of microbes under the forest. And so we are saying that as farmers, we need to have such on our farm, so that when the microbes are reserved here, it's their home. And if we want them, we can collect them from here and then culture them, multiply them, so that we have enough of them, and then reintroduce them in the gardens. Our gardens, because of what we are doing, are losing the microbial activity. But then with this forest we can have the microbes, and we get them from here, we take them into our factory, we culture them into native microbes, into bokashi, and then after that we can take the products into the garden and we reintroduce the microbial activity, which are very important in maintaining the soil health. And once we have the soil health, then we can have sustainable food production, and that food will be also healthy. So when you go down, we find that we have our factory in which we are trying to culture and also producing lots of soil amendments. This is our factory in which we produce our biofertilizers, liquid biostimulants, such that we can introduce them to the crops, to the soil, and then we have that healthy soil which will bring us to healthy food. So this is our biofertilizer factory. And any farmer who is organic must have a designated area where he can process his biofertilizers, bioliquid stimulants, so that at least he can attend to the soil. Because in organic agriculture we say we must strive ensure that we have long-term soil fertility. If we don't have good soil fertility, then we cannot produce sustainably. And if the soil is not healthy, then it means diseases and pests will attack our crops, and then we shall begin looking for other alternatives. But if our soil is healthy, then we are sure that we can continue producing. So when you go out, we shall find that we have also established a crop here, which some people don't value, but then we are valuing it. And these are the bamboos. Bamboos is a multi-purpose plant, because one of them, it is in the construction department, but then also it is ornamental, but also as organic farmers, bamboos, underneath them they have a collection of microorganisms, and therefore once you have the bamboos on your farm, it means you have a refuge for your microorganisms. During the harsh conditions, the microorganisms will come and hide under the bamboo, and during the favorable conditions, then the microbes will move from there and spread into the garden. And once they spread into the garden, then you'll be able to achieve the healthy soil which we are looking at and which we are desiring and we are admiring for our organic farm. Now when we go to this side, then you shall find that we have lots of other technologies that we are implementing at our organic farm, so that at least we can subscribe to healthy environment. Because organic agriculture has 4 major principles. One principle is principle of health. So whatever you do in organic agriculture, you need to see that you have a concept of health in whatever you are doing. And so here we have herbs of different categories. For example, we have the stinging nettle, we have these others, so many of them. But then because of time, I may not be able to say which is which. But then good enough, we have the labels which are placed against each of the plants, against each herb, so that if you have the chance, then you can read the labels and then you know which is which. But because of time, we may not go for each one, but then you can read through and then you have the knowledge about it. I've said that organic agriculture has principles. One of them I've said, principle of health. So when you look at yourself, you must be tending to health. Looking at yourself, how can you be healthy? Look at the animals, domestic and wild, you want them to be healthy. Look at the soil, it must be healthy. Look at the environment, it must be healthy. So that principle is highly valued in organic agriculture. Principle number 2, we are talking about ecology. We are saying you must look at the ecology. What is the surrounding? And when you talk about the ecology, a lot is entailed in the ecology. For example, you have the soil, it is within our surroundings. You have the trees within our surroundings. We have the microbes, we have the macro and micro microbes. We have seen and non-seen or substances. We have the elements in the soil. We have the air around us, and all that is subscribing to ecology. And therefore, as an organic farmer, I must, no option, I must ensure that my environment, my ecology is always healthy, so that I can also be healthy. If the environment is healthy, I will be healthy, the microbes will be healthy, the plants will be healthy. And so, in case you find one place which has been degraded, then it is your role to ensure that you can improve, you can enhance the ecology, looking at the essential varieties, you look at the endangered varieties, and then you try to bring them back into your surroundings so that at least you have a healthy ecology. Then also we have the third principle, which is the principle of fairness. For example, fairness is very important. Today, I'm cultivating. 10 years to come, another generation will come. They also want to eat healthy food. Therefore, if I'm fair, I will not only look at myself, but also I will consider the generation to come, because we are saying we need to be fair. As long as in organic agriculture we are fair, then it means when we look at the family setup, we should be fair to the whole family members. But also, if a homestead does not live independent of the other homesteads in the area, look at the neighbors. And when you look at the neighbors, then it extends on the sub-county, then internationally. So we need to look at that fairness. For example, if a wife has prepared food, then she must also enjoy that food because she's part of it. If you produce your coffee and you sell, the wife, the children must benefit. The workers themselves at the farm must benefit. Now, if we have that, then we are saying that organic agriculture is relying on the foundation, on the principle of fairness. Then care. We don't mind about ourselves only, but also the coming generation needs to be in a good environment, in a good health. Therefore, we care about them. What we do today will impact the future. So we have to be responsible in what we are doing. So this is why organic agriculture is coming up with the 4 principles. Principle of health, principle of ecology, principle of fairness, and then the principle of care. Because we want to see that we can subscribe to those principles, and then we support organic agriculture development. Some individuals may complain, but organic agriculture cannot feed the growing population. That might not be true. It will depend on how one puts in place the practices. For example, here we have a practice. We are producing our vegetables, but we know that because of climate change, rain comes and rain disappears. So here we have set up our system where we collect the water and then it moves all around. And then we find that this water will be reserved here. This water will not just run down the slope. But then once it is reserved here, it means it will infiltrate into the ground. And once it infiltrates into the ground, it will recharge the underground water table. And once the underground water table is recharged, that water will automatically flow and then go to the valley, and eventually we contribute to sustainable spring availability in the area. So if this can be done by every member of the community, then it means that we shall be sustaining our water underground. But then when the harsh conditions come, due to the capillary action, that water will come slowly, and then the crops will be benefiting from it. So it means, as organic farmers, we cannot run away. We cannot neglect conserving the water. The little water that you have, conserve it at the farm, because it is going to recharge the underground water table, and then you can continue producing even when the drought comes in. So our purpose is here is to see that we can ensure that we collect our water so that we can have sustainable water reservoir under the ground, and then also other people will benefit. So organic agriculture calls for community participation. As long as you are in a community, it's very important to ensure that you mobilize, you educate the community around to participate in these practices so that we can have sustainable organic development. And then when you look at this setting, this is an institutional setting, and this is a place which is very good for sharing. For example, one evening we shall have our fire here, and then the Rucid community will sit around, and then we share. Because in African setting, we believe in evening fireplace where stories are told, where experiences are shared, and then it becomes an informal way of education. Now, for organic farming, when we have this, we share our ideas, and then anyone who may not have had that knowledge will eventually have the knowledge, and then we continue spreading the knowledge so that at least we have the extension, we have the continuity of the knowledge. So this, in Luganda we say a kyoto. A kyoto is something that should not miss at an organic farm, because that's where you bring in the uninformal way of communication and keeping on the knowledge going on, because the young ones will come, the elderly will come. In the form of entertainment, they are learning, and that's very important for organic agriculture development. So we have lots of other things. For example, this side we have the vegetable garden, and then we shall move on. Now when we come here in the area where we are, we say that banana is the only food. And so we cannot go away without looking at the banana, the only food. But if we can go into the banana, again you can see we have our water conservation structure, which is here. Our water conservation structure, the water will come in, flow in, and then it will rest. But when it rests, it has those three directions. 1, infiltrate into the ground. 2, infiltrate according to the gradient. 3, evaporation. But for our case, to reduce on the evaporation, this is why we have planted the vetiver around. So this vetiver will create microclimate, microenvironment, where the evaporation will be reduced. But also, from observation, vetiver is a nice grass, in that when it grows, it forms a good canopy. And when you harvest it, then you leave it to wither. After withering, you put it in the garden for the purpose of mulching. Today, when you talk to farmers and you want to talk about mulching, very many farmers will say, mulching is not easy. Mulching is very difficult. Mulching is time consuming. It takes a lot of money because you have collected the mulches from very far from the garden. Now we are saying, if this can be put in place, come with your sickle, cut, leave it to wither, and then you do the mulching. Then eventually you find that you have the mulch which is in the garden. For example, when you look at this was vetiver, which was harvested from there, and now it is serving as the mulch. This was the vetiver, but now it is serving as a mulch. And on top of that, because we want to see that we can reduce on the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, this is why we put in some legumes. For example, we have the mukuna. This is a legume, mukuna, which is going to grow because it is vegetative, and then to contribute, it will supplement the mulching. So as it is supplementing, it will suppress the weed. But also as it is suppressing the weed, the leaves will fall. And when the leaves fall, decompose, and they add to organic matter into the soil. But also, since it is a legume, then it means it will be fixing nitrogen into the soil. So you find that we are putting the mukuna for the purpose of supplementing the mulch, but also contributing to the organic matter level in the soil, but also contributing the nutrient utilization. We have a lot of nitrogen in the atmosphere, which is 78% of the air that is around us. So if we can utilize the legumes in the garden, we shall be capturing that nitrogen naturally. Then with the use of the rhizobia in the soil, then we shall be fixing that nitrogen. So this garden of ours will be benefiting, and then you'll have beauty. But also the leaves, because during photosynthesis they take up carbon dioxide. Then the legumes, the mucuna, will be contributing to carbon sequestration from the atmosphere, and so carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere will be coming down simply because of the legume that we have put there. So we have our banana, as you can see, and banana is a crop which is friendly to the farmer, and therefore the farmer also must be friendly to the banana. Why so? It's important that whenever you are managing your organic banana, you must visit your banana on a daily basis, because if you don't, one thing may happen, and by the time you come back, it's too late. For example, you can see here, this leaf is no longer of any use to the banana. Therefore, it is very essential that as you find it, you chop it off, and then it contributes to the mulching. Because as long as it starts ripening, then it's no longer very useful for the banana. But once it is still green, then you leave it to perform, because we say the leaves are the plate of the plant. So once the banana still has the green leaves, don't remove them, just remove the yellowing one, so that at least you can have the bananas surviving. So this is our banana. I think we can go now. Fortunately, we have been blessed in that we have the irrigation system. Banana too require irrigation. So we have put our irrigation system with the help of our friends, and when the conditions are harsh, then we turn on the irrigation, and so our bananas can be irrigated. And today that's becoming an important aspect on the farm. I don't know how we shall get there, but I think the government should come in and think about helping farmers to bring about irrigation at a cheaper value, because today acquiring an irrigation system is not an easy thing. But if the government can intervene, if the supporters can intervene, the donor community can intervene, then I think we can have sustainable production. Organic agriculture will cherish technologies which are friendly, such that we can continue supporting and developing organic agriculture. So we can move somewhere. Now looking at this, someone may wonder, why did we do the mulching away from the stool? We have done that because according to the banana nature, once you mulch up to the stool, then the roots will begin moving from this ground, coming on top. I don't know whether I can see any here. Yes, I think I can see, because it has been covered here. Now you can see this root. It's a banana root. Now once that happens, the comb also will tend to move out. But then to avoid that, we leave this space uncovered, and then we cover the other space, so that at least we can allow the micro environment for the banana to be happy. If there is a depression, now however little the rain might be, even if it is drizzle, the banana will collect the water, and then it will collect here in the depression, and then even if it's little, then it will sink in the ground. Now this comes to be, our friends in the semi-arid areas too can produce bananas, because meanwhile they have limited rain. if they can put in place mulching, and then they can put in place the ditches, then the little water will collect there and be conserved in the soil. Eventually they will have sustainable organic banana production. So banana is not only for the humid areas, but also it can also be produced in the semi-arid areas. Now whatever we collect, we bring it here. Whatever can decompose, we bring it here, and then we can achieve the mulching purposes so that we can suppress the weed. One of the practices in organic agriculture is integration. Now, with integration, you need to have the livestock. Now, when you have livestock, definitely you must have forage. So here we have our well-balanced forage. In that we have the bracharia. We have the bracharia, which is a very good fodder and sustainable. We have the desmodium. Then we have also Rhodes grass. Then we have the guinea grass. We have some napier, and we have then Cyteria somewhere, it has been harvested. We have the Kachira Kambuzi. So we have a collection. Now when you come here, you harvest, and in one load you are taking to your animals is very balanced. So you'll be subscribing to the healthy nutrition for the animal, so that when the animal feeds onto this, it will give you the dung. But because you have collected the balanced diet for it, then it will also give you balanced nutrient, balanced manure, which you will process and then take back to the garden, so that at least you have your sustainability. Now this is one part of it for the livestock, but also we have several other technologies which are here. For example, this is a technology. This place, as we can see, it is a place which was barren a few years ago, because during the construction, this was the access route for delivering the materials. So it had been treated with maram. But then we said we cannot lose this place also, we need it. So this is why we planted the bananas. But due to the various practices of organic agriculture, including recycling, then we have come to this, and the bananas are good enough and improve, still continuing, because the first banana that we harvested was a tiny one, but now the size is increasing, but also the quality of the banana is improving, because when you're eating the banana, you have that natural taste, because we are using the acceptable, natural, recycled materials that can improve on our crops. So we have this garden also imitating that. But also we are coming up with how can we minimize labor, and this is under the 365 days cover. We try our level best to maintain this place covered, but during that time when it is covered, we believe that photosynthesis is going on, and we know when photosynthesis is going on, sugars are being produced in the leaves and then transported to the roots. And when they get to the roots, there is a time when the roots will be tagged, and then they'll exudate the substances, the sugars. And when they exudate the sugars, the microbes around the roots will benefit from those sugars, and then they'll keep performing their role. For example, the decomposition process will still go on, and once it goes on, it means that the soil will be healthy, and once the soil is healthy, then we shall be able to produce our foods sustainably and healthy food. Now, question is, how different is organic agriculture from other farming systems? Organic agriculture is different in such a way that in the early years, 1930s, researchers were on, and they were telling us, if you want to be healthy, you must consume this amount of food: milk, eggs, meat, posho, and what have you. But due to the technological advancement which took place, Green Revolution, then we started forgetting about our traditional farming, which implies, in a way, researchers can continue researching. If that comes in play, then it means that the Green Revolution products are of less value. So if you want to get the same quantity you used to get from the same measure in the 30s, then you have to increase on the volumes. But we are saying here, let us have the natural way of handling managing our crops, so that the nutrient levels remain constant, such that you eat little in quantity, but then have high value from the same amount of food. So this is why organic agriculture is coming and saying, please do recycling, do environmental protection, do environmental management, do the integration of different crops and animals, so that at least you can benefit out of them. And once you have that, then you can achieve the nutritional values that you are interested in, and organic agriculture will have a meaning. So, as you have your garden under the organic agriculture management, then you are expecting to have nutritious foods. Surprisingly, when you eat nutritious food, you consume small value, small quantity, but then you get high values from that food. And then you don't eat too much. The little you eat gives you the value that you need, and then you can be healthy and you'll be healthy. So now we are moving on. This is a rotational ground. Previously we have had beans here, but then now the beans have been harvested, and we are planning to put another crop so that we can beat the drought. Good enough, it is installed with the irrigation system. So we shall plant. We don't mind about the weather, we don't mind about the season. We shall bring our crops and put them here because the system is on. And then we have the underground water source, which is sustainable also. All year round we have that water. So now we are moving on, and we want to see some other interventions which are here down this side. We want to look at different management practices in coffee. One of them is here, almost getting there. And then we shall look at an alternative. So this is our access to the second plate. Incidentally, when we started, we only had 1.8 acres. But as time went by, we have increased our land size to now 8.1 acres. So progressively we have been moving, and we have reached that. So here is one of our coffee field. To talk about the history of this coffee, this field was established by one of our students, who is now a big man outside there, and it was his project, because when you have the students, each student is given a chance to have a project to manage. So he thought about coffee. At that time there was banana as well, but then down the road we had neglected the banana, but we are planning to reintroduce the bananas, so that at least we can have the diversity. So that we have the coffee, we have the banana, we have the herbal hibiscus, our indigenous hibiscus, and then we can also put other things. So From there we have the livestock. The livestock, as I said, you can't have livestock without fodder. So we have some fodder which has been harvested, but also we have also established more fodder which has just been started for demonstration purposes, so that when you come you'll find the fodder. For example, this is the student's plot. She was given a project for producing the desmodium, which is very nutritious to the animal. Then we have bracharia, which is also sustainable irrespective of the weather. Then we have the Cyteria species, which is commonly known as Kachira Kambuzi. Then we have the Napier plot, and then we have the Ginia, Mkonzi. Then we have the Conquistino grass, which is here. Now one may wonder, but I said that we have the other one. For the other one is demonstrating, for example, if a farmer has a grazing ground, then we can establish the other one, mixed. And then when we come to this one, we are trying to demonstrate different forages, such that when you come, as we have a school, then the student will look at it and say, this is this forage, this is this forage, that is that forage, that is that forage, that is that forage. So when he is establishing the forage, the pasture, then he will bring all this integrated in order to bring about the balanced diet for the animal, because animals too need balanced diet, as much as human beings need balanced diet, animals too need balanced diet. So we want to use a few minutes to go to the livestock, although we shall say little about them, but then we have the livestock unit. I'll open in absence of the attendant. So we have the cattle, our agro-grazing cattle, and we are using the cut and carry system for the feeding. And then also we have the goats. So the goats are given chance to be on that side. Now we have subdivided this to provide walking ground. On designated times, the goats will be out there, and then the cows will be in the unit, and all of them are given cut and carry. All the urine and the water used to wash the floor is collected here. So when it comes to the time of feeding the biogas digester, we get the urine, we get the dung, we mix them together, and we feed them into the biogas digester. We are going to our original place where Rucid started before expansion. So initially Rucid was stopping here, going down, but then with the time we expanded. When you look at this place, it has lots of other things, crops and technologies. Now here we looked at integrating enterprises, because we thought and we still believe that with 1.8 acres a farmer can survive on his farm. So we made our plan in such a way that high value fruit trees were at the periphery. We have Hass avocado, we have mangoes majorly, but then also other crops have come in. For example, cocoa has come in because it's also a high value crop, so that we can integrate other crops in the middle, so that we have a collection. If you have not yet come to harvest the cocoa, other crops are giving you what to eat. Now here is our source of forage for the animals. Then this was our initial building before we got to those other buildings which are up there. So this was our initial. But initially we didn't intend to have an office here. So these were animal houses. At that time, rabbitry was highly being promoted. So we had rabbits, we had the goats, the Boer goats, the Saanen and the like. And this was the center for those animals being distributed to the farmers. But when we acquired the upper part, these rooms are used for other purposes today. So I want us to look at coffee, which we are trying to revive in partnership with the New Cafe, because New Cafe identified us in the area so that they can train local farmers in coffee management. And here is the area we are located to them. So we are trying to come up with improved coffee management, pruning and stamping. So it's here, despite the fact that the weeds are growing up, but then we are monitoring it, and we want to see that it becomes good again, as in the early stages, because I can see there is a great change in the appearance. The leaves are green, and then new shoots are coming, and when the New Cafe comes to train, they will come and do much more about it, because this plot is allocated to them. So now we want to move to the food processing unit, because as an organic practitioner, there are times when you produce perishables, and when you produce perishables, if you don't have the processing technologies, then you will not benefit out of your work. So this is why we have a processing unit, and that processing unit is specifically designated to training youths. If you look at the youth's dynamics, they don't want long-term investment. Now, if farmers can produce and the youths have the skill of processing, they can join the value chain. They go to the farmer, they buy the products, they bring them, they process them, and then they can market those products. And that brings our youths into the value chain, into the food system. So this is why when we are training, we have to ensure that we train these youths in production and then other value chain points. For example, processing, marketing, such that the farmer will remain at the farm and then the youth will process, but because they want quick money, then they will market. Now the farmer will remain at his farm producing, and then that will become a good venture into the agricultural value chain, because each sector will have its specialty. Farmer producing, the youths processing, the youths marketing. Instead of the farmer looking at producing, processing, and marketing. So if this farmer engages in all those, then we'll get lost somewhere. But because we want to develop organic agriculture, we want to have specialty, such that this one is purchasing organic product, processing organic product, marketing organic product, and then organic agriculture will develop. Hopefully, with the youth being involved, then we can increase access to organic products. Because today people complain, comment that organic products are not readily available. But if this value chain is supported, then we shall have availability of the products. As I may say, we started promoting organic agriculture in Mityana in 1994. But then we realized that elderly men and women were the active participants in our discussions and our trainings. So we encourage them to produce healthy food and diversity. Because of a reason, we were looking at food security, and also we were looking at income security. Time came when these farmers had lots of products which would bring them money regularly. For example, up bananas, sukari ndizi, pineapples, papaya, and the others. So time came, they started coming to us, please, we have produced a lot of apple bananas. Can you give us a market? We said, no, we cannot provide you the market because our task is training. So we had to link up with some friends. Said, this is the issue which is here. What do we do? So food processing came up, and then the factory was constructed. So this is our food processing unit. So this is our food processing unit, where we have the table for slicing, peeling, slicing, and then from here we continue to different sections. We have pulpers. We have a pulper which will cut, reduce the size. We have a sterilizer. That is also a filling tank. And then for sterilization, pasteurization, we have the biogas source, so that we reduce on cutting the trees, getting the charcoal. We use our cow dung, we put it into the biodigester, and then the celery is taken back to the garden. So you find that we are completing the cycle. We have fed the animals. The animals have given us the dung. We put it in the biogas digester. We get the gas. We can have the source of heat, then sterilize our juices. Now this is cleaner energy, so we shall not be destroying our wood, our timber. Now we have the bottle filling unit, which is okay. It's not assembled at the moment, but then you put the juice, then it goes through into the bottle. And once it comes here, it will not be handled anymore. So that at least you have safer juices. And it is semi-automated. So anyone interested in learning more about juice processing, then this is an opportunity. Then also we have the sugarcane crusher machine, so that you can produce the sugarcane juice. Also, the machine is here. So you have your sugarcane juice, and it's natural. You don't need to put in any sugar. You don't even need to put in water. Instead of chewing the sugarcane, you just drink the juice, and then you have the benefits from the sugarcane. So this is the wet section. Then if the fruits are to be dried, they don't go that side. The fruits for drying will continue its way, and then will come this side. And then we come to the dry section. And the dry section is composed of dryers. This is one of them. They're drying cassava peels, because once you have the processing unit, then you minimize the losses. For example, you get your cassava, wash it clean, peel it. The flesh is used for processing, getting other products, for example, starch, flour, and the like. And the flour can be used for baking, while the starch can be used for other things. Now, the peels also can be used for other products. However, the science has to come in, because some innovator is trying to see that he can make chapati out of the cassava peelings. Now the science has to come in and tell us, if I consume the cassava peels, is there any side effect to my health? But otherwise, you can process it into animal feed, but of the recent, we are taking this also to human food. So they are here, and these dryers are almost 99% efficient, because when the sun is good enough, then you don't need any supplement heating. But in case the temperatures, the atmospheric temperatures come down by the use of the thermostat, then the burning starts, because the thermostat will tell you that the temperatures now are low, and then the fuel heater will start right away. So you'll have continuous drying day and night, and eventually you come up with 99% efficient products produced. So this is the dry section, and then the other one is the wet section. So we have the stores also. This one, the store is here. I don't know where. It's locked from inside. It's locked from inside, so we shall not access. So this is the food processing unit, which is still under development. You are still developing it further, because there are plans of upgrading it beyond what it is now, so that it can meet international standards, such that when we process our bananas, then our bananas can be consumed internationally, and that's what we are looking at. So we have several other things going on. For example, we have a hatchery, and we are now ready to supply 1-day chicks, 1-month chicks, for biosafety. We may not go inside, but we can watch from outside. So that is our incubator. And some chicks are hatching. So we have the brooders. One day chick, one can get them. 1 month chick, 2 months, depending on somebody's wish. However, the value will be changing. One day they have their price, 1 month they have their price, and on. So this is what is here. So now the question is, how organic are they? We try our level best to keep them organic, minus the vaccination, because vaccination is a state requirement. So we vaccinate them. After vaccination, then we subject them to our local herbs, aloe vera, pepper, and the like. Now the biogas we saw there starts from here. So this was an enterprise project which was supported by RVC, and it's helping us a lot in reducing on the vegetation destruction. So the dung is brought here. We remove the trashes by rolling, and then what is needed for the biogas will flow inside. Then we continue its way to the digester, and then with the use of the pipes it will go to the processing unit. So from here, so we have a winery dedicated to wine making and storage, although it is under lock. Then we have the guest house. Initially, this was the only guest house, but with the time we have had an opportunity, and the guest house population is rising. So we have this section, that's a vegetable section for students. Students have to practice before they can go to the field, and then we assess them so that they can go with that capacity. Now our setup is in such a way that we have villages. We have this as a Mbogo village, then we have another one which is a Grove village, then the upper one is the Eco village. Now this has been dedicated to women, the other one, the Grove village, is dedicated to men, and then Eco village was a complex annex, but now it's becoming a guest house wing. This is one of the classrooms. Now, if I may talk about the classroom, we designed the classrooms in such a way that never will this classroom be hot. is always cool because it has been given adequate vents. The doorway is opened wide. Such that the air circulation is ensured at all times. And so, you will not have any time when you say you need air conditioning. And when you look at the bricks, those bricks we call them earth bricks. We have earth brick machine which compresses the brick, and you don't need any firing. Then when you look at the roof, the iron chutes are aluminium, so they reflect the heat. And eventually, you have this classroom as eco-friendly classroom. And so are the hostels. I don't know whether there is a hostel which is open. Yeah. So eco-friendly buildings. Now, they are made in such a way that they have the window, which is large enough, so to meet the ministerial requirement that there shouldn't be burglary. In case of any need, they have to escape through here. And if you look at it, it's all ventilated. And when you look at the ceiling is made in such a way that it is insulating. So it will be cool. On very many occasions when people have come here especially from the northern part of the country where it is hot, they complain about the coldness because the rooms are cold day and night. But then for our case, we wanted them to be eco-friendly, such that we don't interfere much with the ecosystem. Now, one scholar may argue, but where did you get the maram from? We excavated the maram from somewhere, but we had a plan of recovering it. And if we went there, you'll find that now it's a green area, because we knew by excavating maram, we shall be exposing the ground. But then what next? What next? We have allowed it to be regenerated, and a lot of vegetation, a lot of cover has come up. So this is the power of bokashi. Students used a lot of bokashi on this field, and you can see the production. The production is good, and the bokashi is a semi-fermented, semi-decomposed organic matter, which is a process via recycling. So when you apply it into the soil, you increase on the organic matter, you increase on the microbial activity, and then the crop will survive and will give you what you need. So now, as we're almost winding, we can go and look at some area where we excavated the maram. And then you can see that for sure you can regenerate the area if it is in good plan. So this is still under plan. It was initially to be a fish pond, upland fish pond, but for some reasons it has not yet worked out to our expectation. We ate one round of fish, but because it was not a sustainable fish pond, then it stopped. But now we are planning to have dam liner, so that at least with the dam liner we can have the fish and we shall have sustainable upland fish production. So these are the rooms I was talking about that now are being converted into guest houses. They are already self-contained, but with the time they are going to be upgraded beyond the level they are, so that they can meet international tourists' expectations. Initially we start with that block, and then later we shall come to this block. So these also are self-contained because we need to meet the tourist expectations, and we hope shall meet their expectation, because at least we have lots of attraction. We need bird watchers day and night because we have the birds. We have some small creatures, some of which can be seen during the day, others cannot be seen during the day. So if we have people who are interested in watching nature, this is the place they can come to. Now with organic agriculture, you can see that litter, good cover, so microbial protection. So this is the area I talked about, where we excavated our maram. We excavated our maram from here, and now you can see how beautiful it's becoming. And this is becoming our area for public gathering. For example, if we have a function, then we just put our tents and the function will go on, the event will go on. But then it's where we excavated the maram from. But with the organic agriculture principle of ensuring long-term soil fertility, we left this uninterfered with, but then now it's becoming more usable, more beneficial to us, because before we excavated it was rugged slope, but now people can place their tent, we can place our tent, we can place our chairs, and then we sit and we enjoy nature, and then we go on. So this tree, there's one time when pastors came here, then we asked the guest of honor to plant this tree, this mango tree, and now it is yielding. I wish you could come and see his fruits. Then also we can look at one mango which was planted by the Prime Minister of Uganda, Katikiro, and during that time he was collecting the tofali. I believe some people have heard about the tofali, but then when he came, he said, no, you cannot go without planting our mango, leaving here a memory. So he planted the mango, and mind the wire. So this is the mango tree which was planted by the Premier, by the Katikiro of Uganda. And it's here, we are enjoying the fruits. So when we have visitors, we normally encourage them to plant or to leave something to remember. For example, we have the mahogany outside there. Those mahogany were planted by a team of 6 people. They came for training in inspection and certification. So as they were going, we said, no, you cannot go without planting trees. And they planted the trees. So I want to thank all our visitors for this moment you have given us to visit around with me. Don't miss coming, because we have a lot to offer our major task, our key task is training. But then with the training, we have an aspect of networking, sharing as our core values. So please, if you want more, come and visit us, and we share and we discuss, because we want to see that organic agriculture can develop beyond and beyond, because it's the way which can help us to produce safe food. And today we are saying food safety is a key issue, because we have tested the negative part of the unsafe food. Now we want to come up with safe food so that we can be healthy, and it is the healthy mind which can support, which can participate in the development. So come and visit us again and enjoy, and we share and we learn together. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Nyanza Samuel, the Director of Rural Community Development, but at the same time I'm the Chairman of the Organic Movement of Uganda, National Organic Agriculture Movement of Uganda, Nogam. National Organic Agriculture Movement of Uganda promotes the production, processing and marketing of organic agriculture products. Now I have something which many people ask, what is organic farming? And I'm going really to give it according to my view and my understanding. The way I define as myself organic farming is that organic farming is the organs organized to form a living organism, which means a farm, to be an organic farm, it must have all the organs on the farm. The organs of the farm include the plant, the soil, the plants, the animal, the structures, and the human being are to crown everything. And these must be organized. And once they're organized, then they will form a living organism, and any living organism will perform a function. So if you have an organic farm, it must perform a function, either giving you income, giving you money, giving you income, giving you food, giving you the good environment, and also trying to give you all what you need. So organic farming, as I said, will have to give you the benefit of you. It must give you healthy food. Healthy food which will make sure that you are actually not being poisoned. And I think this is the most important of the organic farming. People to have safe and nutritious and healthy foods. But at the same time, organic farming should try to give you the good environment in which somebody can live. And if you have got healthy food, healthy life, and good food, then it means you are going to be a person who is not going to be affected with a lot of diseases. So I think organic farming is very, very important, first of all, for economic development. But before I go to economic development, it is very, very important for our well-being, our health. Anybody who is actually eating organic products will never fall sick anyhow, and which means is likely to have prolonged lifespan. But also it gives very nice income in terms, for example, in terms of cash, but at the same time it helps you to save on the money which you will be actually spending on medication, and you find by so doing you really you are improving on your income. But also it helps to preserve environment. You see, today everybody is actually talking about climate change, and this is a global outcry. So organic farming is a very good system which is addressing climate change. And if we can address climate change, it means now globally we can have healthy, reduced temperatures, we can have whatever we need, because climate is very, very important in our well-being. Therefore, organic farming at household level, it gives you food. At the national level, it gives you income, but also starting from the household. So income at household, income at the national level, but also income at the global level. But then on the global level, organic farming provides the answer for mitigating climate change. And that's why I would encourage that we all take on organic farming, because the benefits cannot even exhaust them. As the organic movement of Uganda, we take organic farming as the answer for giving foreign currency to our country. That's very, very key. So organic farming can make us actually, first of all, save by not importing a lot of inputs, but also it will help us by giving us a market outside. So that's why I encourage everybody to take on organic farming, and I'm doing this as the chairman of the chairman board of the Organic Movement of Uganda. I thank you for listening to me.